Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know my camera setup and my lighting looks a little odd right now, but I have you pushed really far back so when I stand up and I go to the, scoot back, I can show you guys this whole blanket. So first let me say, welcome back to my channel. Today is another episode of Finish It Friday. My hair is a mess. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I finished this Afghan. Oh my gosh. Let me just show you and I'll talk about it after I show you, okay? So let me get it to where I can do a good reveal. Get real far back. Ta-da! Look at it! Oh, I love it. I need something to stand on. I'm not tall enough. Oh, I'm so happy with it. And you can see, all my ends are weaved in. The back looks like a bunch of little worms fighting everywhere, but, oh, I'm sorry, Pooksy. See, like you can see it on his face, the strands. But, right here, I didn't weave in. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to keep showing it for you guys. I wonder if I don't have something I could stand on. Oh, I could just look at this for hours. I'm trying to stand on my tippy toes, but I'm not tall enough. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to get my camera set back up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So what did you guys think? Isn't it awesome? And another thing I wanted to say is I was shocked whenever I finished this how heavy it is. I never would have expected it to be this heavy. And it's the perfect size. Oh, I will use this all the time now. And I forgot my coffee. Dang it. Anyway, I have so much to talk about with this Afghan. First of all, I want to get a piece of black fleece, and in my mind I'm thinking what I would do is take the full, just a tad bit. So let's say, I'm just going to scale this down. Let's say, for instance, this is the size of my Afghan, right? What I would do is I would find a piece of black fleece, and in my head, what I would do is, add about, I'd say at half an inch off the top, this side. So half, there's 1 inch, half, there's 2 inches, off the top, the tops and the sides. And then what I would do is take that half inch, fold it in, poke holes through all of it, and then do loosely work single crochets all around that. And then what I would do is, and this is why I left the border undone. I would just take out this whole border, which, pause that story. Sorry, I get ahead of myself. What I would do is, or what I did is, the pattern actually didn't call for a border, but it needed it because I was like, it just looks funny. It needs a border. So I just went up a hook size and loosely half double crocheted all the way around it, and it came out. I mean, look at that. But anyway, so then what I would do is take that piece of fleece. Yeah, whatever. I would take that piece of fleece and then hold my Afghan, the piece of fleece, and then work the half double crochet border through the single crochet and the row on my Afghan, so that the border row was holding the fleece to the Afghan. And then what I would do is at each crosshair area section, like so here, here. And then in Mario, I would find like somewhere in the middle, like maybe his feet or something, or his tail maybe. And then what I would do at each of those cross sections is take black yarn and then tie it in a knot and tie it so that the bow is in the back. Kind of like, have you ever seen those quilts they used to make where they use yarn to tie, and is this little yarn bows all over the Afghan? That is what I was thinking. In my head it works. I haven't the slightest clue if that would actually work. Another thing I was thinking is you could take your piece of fleece and cut it in, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. I don't know if that would work. Because I was thinking you could do the same concept as having a 1/2 inch off each edge, single crochet around that, and stitch it together. But I don't think that would work. I really don't. I think you would have to do the full panel. That's what I have in my mind, and that's why the border, I didn't weave in the ends. I just tied it in a bow to keep it, because I absolutely love this, and I want to make sure it's perfect. And to me, I don't want to see all that, right? Like, I want to see this with a black background, a black piece of fleece on the back of it, and it's perfect. I love it. My husband. So, okay. Over the last, couple years, I realized that my husband, when I show him things that I make specifically for Finish It Friday, he's just been like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's cool. And I'm like, no, it's not just cool. It's awesome, honey. It's awesome. You have to say it's awesome. But he, I understand, I'm the same way when he, tells me things with farming or whatnot. And I'm just like, oh, wow, really? Dang, that's awesome. Because I have no idea what he's talking about. So, when I show my husband something that I've made and I find out that he's showed other people or he's talked about it, that just kind of like makes my heart, go huge, because I'm super excited, because that tells me that he loves it. Well, I sent him a picture of this, and I found out that he showed somebody else, and that somebody else was like, will she sell that? And I was like, no, I'm not selling this. I just made it. No. Heck no. Heck to the no. I'm not selling this. And my husband says, I told him $500. Well, I don't know. I might sell it for $500. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was funny. Let's see. Oh, something I wanted to talk about. And I do want to say, I forgot in the last Finish It Friday to put the links for the pattern and the yarn I used. I went back and I added it. So it's there now. I added it a couple days ago. So sorry. My mind is, this whole ear issue, my mind has just been, I told my husband, like, I feel like I'm getting dementia. Anyway, so a couple things I do want to talk about with this pattern. And she says in the pattern that she spent over a year designing this. So a round of applause, sister, because I don't think I could spend a year on one project. Maybe if it was off and on, I could. I don't know. I want to tell her you did a bang up job. Good on you, sister. If I could just add just a tidbit of advice, constructive criticism, I would say make sure that the written pattern and the graph match, because they don't. And then I would also say I did a lot of figuring out on my own, adding the squares together and figuring out where to put them. Not the placement of the Afghan of the squares themselves. I followed her picture. What I'm saying is, she tells you for the border of the block, do 2 single crochet. She did 2 single crochets per row, and then 1 single crochet across the top and the bottom. And then she did 3 on the corners. And then she just said, stitch them together just like my picture, or however you want. And I appreciated that. I appreciated the info with the two double crochet per side. I just wish it was more detailed, as in, you need, and I'm just throwing out numbers here because I did not have the time to sit and figure this out exactly how many stitches per border, top, bottom, all that. I did not figure that out. I just did it. I wish the pattern said more about, and like I said, I'm just throwing out numbers. 40 double crochet across the bottom, 40 across the top. In the first and last stitch, work your 3 double crochets for your corners, and then, 40 down each side. I wish it would have said that. And then, along with when you add your long panels, hold on a second, let me get this right. Okay, so these long panels, see where it's just randomly added to the side? I wish it would have said, on the centerpiece, put a stitch marker in this stitch, because that's where your piranha plant, that's the name of this, that's where your piranha plant block is going to start and end on, I wish it was a little more detailed like that, because I was just like working this and I was like, I hope this works. I hope this works, because a lot of this I worked on the drive home from Georgia. So I was like, man, I hope this works. I hope this works. Please come out right. Thank you. It did. It came out beautifully. Now, I'm not going to say this is perfect, because let me tell you, my phone, that's what I film on, my phone has filters that it automatically adds. I can go in there and try to just take it all off, but I don't want to mess with it because I love the way it is right now. And plus, you cannot see my age on my face because of the filter, so I'm not taking that off. Anyway, so the reason I say that is because when I first stitched all of these blocks together, so for instance, the initial making the blocks, number one, I'm new to the tapestry crochet, so I was still learning. Then, number two, some of the blocks came out a bit larger, slightly larger than the other ones, but a good example is this bomb block. Came out way bigger than like the first one I did, which was the shell, I think. No, the first one I did was the star. I don't know where it's at. But anyway, so when I stitched all this together, yes, it I don't want to say warped, but yes, it kind of fit funny. And I thought, number one, this is Red Heart Super Saver yarn. And I know that yarn because I can't afford, the fancy stuff. So I go with the cheap stuff that I can get at Walmart, or I can get at off marketplace that people are selling. So I know that when I wash and dry this, all of these stitches are just going to loosen up and lay right. So I knew that when I finished this, the first thing I was going to do once I got done weaving the ends in is throw it in the washer and dryer. And I did. And I pulled that thing out of the dryer and chef's kiss, perfection. Perfection that I love. So I can take this Afghan, and you guys that have sewn squares together or sewn blocks together to make an Afghan know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it kind of like, I don't know what word I want to say, bunches up a little maybe. It doesn't just lay, like if it doesn't lay perfect, right? Like when you take it and you go like that and you lay it out, it doesn't lay perfect because, some blocks are different than others. Some are tighter, some are looser, because nobody's perfect 24/7. So when you wash and dry it, all of that just lets loose and lays out nice and pretty. And that's what happened. When I took this out, I laid it out on the ground, and I did not need to flatten anything. I didn't need to, ow. I didn't need to take my hands and just kind of lay it out flat. All I did was just lay it out, and it just laid perfect. So I was super, super happy with how that came out, and I was honestly shocked. Because I thought for sure my stitch count on the border was going to be so crazy off. And like I said, I know if I sat down and I did, did the work and focused on what I was doing and made sure every single block had this many stitches up one side, then you got your 3 border or 3 corner. This many stitches across the top, then you got 3 for the border. I didn't have time, and I didn't have I wasn't in the mindset, I'll say, because we were driving. I was in the passenger seat of my truck. I didn't I just kind of said, okay, so I'm going to start with this. Honestly, this is 100% what I did. I took one of my blocks, one of my normal size blocks, and I held it facing me. And I thought, each pattern, each block, I'm going to start on the top right with the picture facing me. I'm going to start on the left, top left. I'm attaching the very first stitch of the last row, not the turning chain or anything. So I did my 3 for the corner. There's my corner. And I worked 2 per row down the side. And then, the cat here. And into the very last stitch, 3 into that stitch. So I tried to make sure each block was the same as the last one I did. And it worked. So here you go. I am going to look for some black fleece that I can do the back with, because I really, really want to do the back. But here it is. One last look, and then we are going to draw a new one. All right, let me get this sat to the side, fold her up. Okay. Oh man, am I ready for another one? I think that was the longest Finish It Friday project I've had at all. I every one of them I've tried to finish in a week or, longer. Please don't be an Afghan. I'm already thinking, please don't be an Afghan. I need a break. Or let me work on my husband's green one. That'd be a nice one. Let's draw that. Let's draw that. My husband's green Afghan. Oh, I about dumped the whole thing. Could you imagine? I would have just picked one up off the floor and picked it up later. Here we go. Come on now. I fold these things really good. Amigurumi from book. Heck yeah. We can go with that, sisters. I'm happy with that one. Pop. Amigurumi book. Here we go. There's not many in this one. I hope it's nothing that I have to buy yarn for, because I really don't want to spend money. Alright. Please be something good. Please be something good. I'm super happy with this. Gnomes from my spring book. Okay, let me... Oh, this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a flowery one. Okay, I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to dig out that book and see what we can come up with. I'll be right back. Is it... Oh, I was like, is it going? Okay, so here is the book that I'm talking about. I think I just got this off of Amazon. I'm not really 100% sure. But how cute are some of these? So I'm going to set right here. We're going to go through this book right now. We're going to go through all of these and I'm going to pick one out. Okay. Here's the back. Isn't that cute? Okay. The pages are like notepad paper. So they're not like... I shouldn't have said that. Not notepad paper, but it's the paper that you can write on with a pencil and erase it. And I appreciate that, because the ones like the pattern books that are glossy, like the pages are glossy. I wish it wasn't like that, because as a crocheter, I like to write down notes and take notes. So that way, if I ever make it again, I could be like, I could read my note and it say, hey, Alana, don't do this. This is better. That kind of thing. So I appreciate the pages being like that. Look at that. I don't want to show that writing because I don't know what it is. I haven't read it. I don't want to show a pattern. Oh, okay. It says original crochet pattern. Oh, it's just like the copyright stuff. Ah, look at this. Look at that. It says spring. I've got my eye on one so far that I'm liking, but I'm gonna wait to make the decision because I might see something I like better. Recommendations, abbreviations, how to change color, how to twisted cord. What? Look at what she does. That's cool. I wonder what that's for. I mean, like what pattern in the book it's for. Okay, so it shows you leaf pattern, flower pattern, basic spring gnome. So that's that one. So I'm wondering if the rest of the patterns in the book are based off this one and then you just add whatever to make it different. Okay, so... Ah, well, that's what the twisted cord's for. Make a twisted cord. Oh, so we have the sunny gnome. Very cute. So, of course, when I make this, I'm just going to use my Red Heart Super Saver. We have the striped gnome. Oh, that one had a little butterfly on the side of its head. I didn't notice that. Okay, here's the striped gnome. Very cute. I love the ball on top of its head. So if you see the size of the gnome compared to her hand, it's kind of small. I mean, that's going to be like, what's she holding it like that? It's going to be well, if I was following that yarn, I'm not using that yarn. I'm using a bigger one. Here is Daffodil. How adorable is that? Oh, go back, go back. Oh, here is the hen. The chicken, the hen. Ah! I'm losing control here. Okay, here is the bunnies. That's so cute. Ah! And then here's the small hen. The bobble hat gnome. The garden gnome. I like him. I like him because his hat's different. Here is the tree gnome. Can you see at the top right under the chick and the egg? See all that the cord stuff or no, that's just chained. Yeah, that's just chained. Wrapped around the top. Okay, so here's my thoughts on this one. I don't see a gnome. Like, I'm not saying that I don't like the design. I do. I think it's adorable. I think if you leave off the beard and the nose, it's adorable as a tree with an egg, a chick on top. Skipped. Hold on. Oh, wow. It's a little added part that it didn't show. Egg keepers. Like you actually put little eggs in it. That is creative and adorable. Man, I wish I would have thought of something like that for Easter. Could you imagine Easter egg hunt with kids and all they see are a bunch of these gnomes sitting around and you don't tell them the eggs are in it until you just be like, okay, you've got 30 eggs to go find. Good luck. And all they see is just randomly setting these, just randomly around. They just start seeing these little gnomes and then they're like, wait a minute. Are the eggs inside the gnomes? That's so cute. That's the kind of stuff I would do. Yeah, that's it. Look at this. An exciting world of crochet gnomes. Look at these. This one. That is adorable. And the snowman. Ah. Okay, so what I'm thinking, the one I want to do, I'm stuck between two. I really like that basic gnome because I love the, where is it at? Leaf, flower, here we go. I'm stuck on this one because I really like that. I think that is adorable. You could add a couple, butterflies and maybe a little bee or something on the flowers. And then I'm stuck between that one and, okay, where's he at? This one, the garden gnome, because it just makes me think of my husband. I don't know why, it just does. So that one or that one? I think I'm going to go with this one. I think I'm going to go with the basic one. And then if I ever draw that again, I'll make the garden one. Okay. So this is the next project I'm going to work on. And yeah, I've got all of the colors for that. So what I'll do, I don't know if I'll use pink or not. I may not. But I'll use the white. That I may switch that up. So I may make this like a spring. Flowers are blooming and are bright and beautiful. So I may go with a green vining flower. I'm not sure if I'll stick with the white flowers. I may change that up too. Ooh, maybe a yellow. I love, yeah, like a yellow flower. Okay, so I'm thinking, like, that's why I'm just gawking, like, staring into space, because what I'm doing is I'm picturing I don't know what color gnome yet. I don't know what color gnome. I want it to be spring. I want to stick with the spring, but I want that bright pop of green for the vine, and then a yellow flower. So the vine, I would go with not like see how, okay, that dark green right there, that's what I would use for the vine, for the vining part. And then for the leaves, I would use, like, that is super close to a spring green. I would use that for the leaves. Or instead of yellow, go for a vibrant blue, like a bright blue, like maybe the color of her dress, and then a bright yellow for the little center of the flower, and then that yellow and that blue on that green with a leaf would be really pretty. And then for the flesh tones, I just stick with buff. I always use buff with a flesh tone. Unless, like, well, I made an angel where I used light peach, and that really came out pretty. I think that's what I'm going to do. A pretty vibrant blue with a bright yellow center with the bright green leaves, and then a darker green vine on top of a... Man, I don't know what color to make the gnome. Just stick with that? Yeah, I see. I call it a lipstick pink. Pardon me. My throat's still a little messed up. A lipstick pink color. I can't tell if that's Red Heart Super Saver or not. I think all of that would be very pretty together. So that's what I've got it. Bing, bang, done. Now just to put it all together. All right, so I will put the link in the description box for this book if you guys want it. This is by... I don't see an author. Yeah, I don't see an author at all. Interesting. All right, well, I don't know. I will put a link to the description box. Like I said, I'm 99% sure I got this off Amazon. I get a lot off Amazon, so I'm pretty sure it's Amazon. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description box. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss what's next. And I'll see you guys next week with my gnome. Try to cover the pattern. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below how much you guys love that Afghan. I mean, come on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.